Hi, I'm Cesar Santos. The academic process requires different stages of painting. I'm working on the first painting stage of this painting. Let me show you how it's done. The mind cannot concentrate on different things at the same time. That's why in the academic process, the stages are studied separately so you can focus and exploit each stage and take the maximum benefit out of each one. Right now, I'm working on the first painting stage of this painting, of this figure. I got the term of first painting from the Angel Academy when I was studying in Florence. I think they got that term from the Thomas Bartwell book. Actually, you can click here if you want to see my vlog on the Thomas Bartwell palette. Before the first painting stage comes the underpainting, which is a setup for the first painting stage, and I let that dry. So if you see back here, the arm is in that earlier stage of the underpainting. That's why it looks flat, just with the shape and a little bit of the shadow, but not much form is indicated there as the rest of the figure, which is getting three-dimensional. Once this is dry, I will go over and do the second painting stage, which actually was my last vlog, so you can click here to see how I do that second painting stage. Each painting stage has a goal that you have to aim at, and the reason it's divided is so that you don't lose focus, so you know exactly what to look for at that particular stage. So my goal for this particular painting session is to find the real colors of the model in harmony to the rest of the picture. I will be applying the paint in a direct manner, not worrying so much about blending. It's mainly finding those values and temperature shifts and main color in context to the whole figure. You're not gonna learn by listening to me, so just watch. This stage can go relatively fast because your focus should be only in discovering the colors and the values, so you'll be just painting, blocking in and changing things. And actually you can build a nice texture too in this stage because you're gonna be adding paint and figuring things out. So it doesn't matter if the form is not rendered completely, but the important thing is for you to add color and find the form and the structure. Here I'm trying to discover the form of that deltoid there. This is called first painting because it's the first time that you're actually figuring things out in terms of color, value, and finding that form. Before it was just a fill-in to have something kind of like a general color. If you see here, the arm, for instance, is just a flat kind of general color. I was not trying to describe much just with that. You can even draw it out if you want first. Like I could just come in and say, okay, this is gonna come out from here, here, and then let's say it intersects there where the bicep goes underneath the shoulder muscles there. So you can actually draw it so you can understand it. And then you can be more realistic, more optical. Keep those edges pretty soft. They're not gonna be refined because during second painting is when you refine the edges, but just keep them soft for now so they don't interrupt the effect. The form of the arm has different planes, but in general it's a cylindrical shape, so make sure that you understand that, so that the light is going to be more angular. If it's rounder, then the softer, the edges will go softer and the transition is slower. And if you have your stages organized in your mind, then you know that all this will be covered during that second stage. So that's why I recommend you go, and the last vlog I did with that demo of second painting the forehead, so you can see how I covered the whole thing. All this will be covered, so I don't have to worry about this making it look pretty for now. Just want to make sure that I get the value right and the colors right. This area here is going to be darker because it's going away a little bit from the light, and then this is facing the light, so this will be lighter. It's important to learn how to draw actually, and not depend on tracing or other ways of making the drawing go fast. Because the thing is that maybe you can trace the outline of this, let's say for the outside of the arm, but what about the internal drawing? People forget that you cannot trace the inside of things. You have to understand them. So that's the danger. When you're studying, you're tempted to go fast and maybe you want to trace to get that over with. But if you don't understand the actual construct of things, you won't be able to describe it as you paint. So that's why it's better to understand the whole thing at once and learn how to draw from observation and leave those tools of tracing for when you already know all this stuff. Make sure you keep the first painting stage patchy. Don't fall for the rendering. Don't fall for describing the form and making it look pretty. Make sure that looks three-dimensional. Make sure it looks with the right colors. But don't worry too much about making it look finished. That's gonna be on the finishing stage. So you see how it went from flat, now it's starting to look more like an arm. And the more you spend time with it, the more you can develop it if you want and push the boundaries of color and value. But again, remember that you'll be finishing this in the second painting stage once this stage is completely dried. As you're working on this and finding the colors, make sure you work on the drawing. Never forget the drawing. If you see something weird, fix it up in first painting, because since you're applying a lot of color, once that's dried, it's gonna have a good foundation for your second painting and the more glazing and thinner color application. So make sure that the drawing is also on point. And in case you realize that, let's say I'm fatigued because I've been working on this the whole day, and I don't realize certain things, I can come back to this and do another first painting stage. So first painting is just the name of the term that we call it, so we know what the goal is. And so you can do first painting several times if it doesn't work out, but make sure that you have a good foundation, a good first painting before you do that second painting stage and take this to a finish. I have an instructional video showing you the whole process of the figure. I'm gonna put that link in the description box below. I explain the whole process more clearly and not in this short format vlogs. Okay, let's wrap this video up. This is not a real nude, it is just in your mind. The right colors and right form, she will soon be alive.